March 29th, 2025, partial solar eclipse or new moon at 9 degrees Aries at 3:58 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And then on March 30th, Neptune, the god of the waters, is going to go into Aries, the first sign of the zodiac. Now, this is the first time since 1861, and this is a huge shift. This is all part of that wobble I've been talking about. And what a finale for the month of March. It's been pretty crazy, hasn't it? We've got all this energy, planets moving from Pisces into Aries, going over that zero Aries point. So we're moving away from that watery, mutable, emotional Pisces, spirituality, unconditional love, fuzzy boundaries, very imaginative and creative, but can be so imaginative they can get lost in delusions and illusions sometimes, and even sometimes fall into a little bit of criminal activity. Now, Aries is all about cardinal fire. How do we go forward in the physical world? With Aries people, what you see is what you get. Well-defined boundaries. Conflict is no problem for them. They think that's pretty normal. As I said, 1861, just before our Civil War, is the last time Neptune went into Aries. And so hopefully whatever we did before, we'll be able to do it with a little less violence, I should say. So anyway, with leaving Neptune, Pisces, Neptune is the ruler of Pisces too. All these things are dissolving and turning into that cosmic goo like from Ghostbusters. So what we're going to do when everything gets into Aries, we're going to take that goo and we're going to start reforming it into something new and different. And let me just warn you though, be prepared. What happens may not be what you expect. So really stay on your toes, stay flexible with this big change coming up. So anyway, and I hope everybody understands in these real short shorts, I'm only picking out like 2 things, and then the extended version I go into more detail, but I'm not doing like a daily horoscope. But there's plenty of great astrologers that do that. So anyway, on YouTube. Anyway, I will hopefully see you in the extended version, or maybe next week. Bye! Mwah, 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 mwah. Thank you so much for coming back to the Magical Mystery School, to the extended version of the solar eclipse supermoon in Aries 2025, as well as Neptune going into Aries. Woo! Very exciting. So, and I must say thank you so much for liking and subscribing and all that kind of stuff. I super appreciate it. Okay. So we've got all this energy going from Pisces into Aries over this 0 degrees Aries point. And this 0 degrees Aries that's huge. It's our world axis. 0 Aries to 0 Libra makes 1 axis on those cardinal signs, right? And then Capricorn, Cancer, 0, 0, that's another axis. So just remember, but the Aries is our creation point, right? It is the beginning of our whole zodiac. So the first sign, Aries, it's ruled by Mars, and it's really into being assertive, a little on the aggressive side sometimes, but really into protecting the self as well as the family or the boundaries, all that good stuff. Very sustaining of the self, wants to be independent and all that kind of stuff. And with being at 0 degrees, now Aries is our first sign, but 0 degrees, it's like we've got a newborn, right? I mean, it's just brand new out of Pisces there. And remember, Pisces is more reaction, Aries is more action. So we're basically waking up here from Pisces to Aries, kind of waking up from that, and wanting to manifest our dreams, basically. So really keep an eye out for this energy to shift. I mean, it could be all sorts of things like fashions and colors and that kind of thing. And also be patient, because I want to review this Mercury and Venus going retrograde. Let's see if I can get this up here for you guys. Okay, so February 6th, so both of these, Venus and Mercury, are basically running in tandem together. And I got to tell you, this is unusual, but I just want to show you all these 0 Aries points. Okay, Venus went into Aries, so that's 0. Venus went retrograde. Oops, there's my clock. I forgot to check for that. but I think we'll be okay. Okay, Venus went retrograde on March 2nd at 10 degrees Aries. And you'll notice this, like our new moon was 9. There's a lot of activity around this 9-10 Aries also. So look for that in your chart too. Okay, then Mercury went into Aries March 3rd. Then on the 14th, Mercury went retrograde at 10 degrees Aries again. And then here's our equinox when the sun went into Aries, 0 degrees. And now this is what we're talking about really in this talk here is this 27th, we have retrograde Venus going back into Pisces. And then on the 29th, we have Mercury, retrograde Mercury going back into Pisces. Now remember, when these planets are going backwards, the doorway back into Pisces is through 0 degrees Aries. So again, that's being activated. And then here we go, March 30th, Neptune goes into Aries, 0 degrees. And then you can see here in April, we've got Mercury and Venus both going direct. That's why I'm kind of saying, let this energy build. Let these two planets get direct before you really start going forward. And then April 17th and then May 1st, we have Mercury and Venus both again going over that 0 degrees Aries. So it's getting its work out. And like I said, feel free to take a screenshot of that. Anyway, I think that's just really interesting to see where, to see that lined up like that. It helps activate our brain. And one other thing I wanted to mention about this galactic light that I was talking about a little bit last time, real or unreal, I don't know. It may be affecting us right now. We've got one brave soul, that Nancy Rebecca, who said, I think she said it was going to come on March 29th or 30th. I don't know. There's so much going on March 29th and 30th. I'm like, okay, whatever. If it's going to come, it's going to come then. And just remember, if you're thinking about, how is this going to feel, some of these intuitives have said, or channelers have said, everybody's going to know exactly what it is. They're going to feel it. It's going to be obvious. Others have said it's going to be more subtle. And if this is hooking in, I've also heard about you've heard about the precession of the equinox. That's going from, we're in the age of Pisces and we're going to the age of Aquarius. Or we're somewhere in that transition period in between. But that also relates to a Vedic or a Hindu, Indian astrology cycle called a yuga, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that quite right, but that's a 24,000 year cycle, but it's ending like March 30th too. That's crazy. And when I was reading about this, it was saying that the last 6,000 years of this 24,000 year cycle, which makes sense because that would be like a square for us, is called the cycle of forgetting. So we've forgotten our oneness with spirit. We've forgotten our oneness with everybody else, plus the plants and animals. So hopefully we'll start to remember, okay? So just remember with this galactic light, this, if it's upgrading our DNA, I'm all for it. I'm happy to have my DNA upgraded. But just remember, you might just feel more sleepy. You might feel sore, have like flu-y kind of symptoms. You may feel nothing. You may feel super peppy. Maybe you can't sleep. Maybe you can't, you got too much going on, that kind of stuff. So just be patient with yourself and let this energy come in and do its work. Okay, so I'm going to put you on pause right now, and I'm going to, then we'll look at the wheel. Okay, here we go. Okay, first thing I want to do before I start cluttering this up with all my planet stickies, I just want to show you, this is the glyph for Earth. Okay, and does that remind you of anything? Yeah, it's our astrology wheel. So anyway, I just thought I'd show you that right quick. Okay, so I really liked what we did last time where we said we were going to, where I said I was going to set the stage, what's going on with all the other planets. And I missed a few, though, that I want to mention. So first off, as always, I'm going to put Pluto up here. It's only at like 3.5 degrees Aquarius. So, but he's hanging out there, our god of the underworld, right? And then, and just remember with this, that's air. Aquarius is air fixed, but Aries is fire. So air and fire really like each other. So as these planets go back and forth across this 0 Aries point, they're going to be sextiling, that's a sextile, Pluto. And that's going to be great because Pluto is, because this sextile is good flowing opportunities type energy, and this with Pluto giving all this support to go deep, to be honest, that kind of thing. I think it's going to be really helpful, and you'll see how that as that plays out here. Okay, what else have we got? We can't forget about good old Mars here. Now, I haven't talked much about him, but Mars is down here in Cancer. And I'm doing all these degrees from the new moon. So no matter what day you're looking at this is for the 29th. Okay, so Mars is about 23 degrees Cancer. So that's cardinal water and is heading back to Leo. All right. But we've got Saturn up here at 24 degrees Pisces, and I'm going to put him kind of up here because we've got so much stuff going on down here. I'm going to put Saturn up here. So, but this 24, 23, water, we've got that beautiful trine that I keep talking about, that I keep loving on here, because this can help us get so much work done. I mean, really, we can get a lot of stuff done with this Mars trine Saturn. Have you felt like it? I have. I feel like I've been getting a lot of things done. Got my taxes turned in. I'm actually halfway through vacuuming my house right now. Okay. Had to get this done, though. All right. What else is out there? Oh, we've got Jupiter at 15 degrees Gemini. And this is a transpersonal planet. It spends a year in each sign. So, but it's at 15 and it's headed for going into Cancer. So again, that's all part of the wobble that I've been talking about. And what else? Oh, and Uranus is a little out of the picture at 24 degrees Taurus. So I'm going to put Uranus right up in here. Okay. Now, 24 degrees Taurus is, you know, we had it sextiling and trying that last lunar, that Virgo Pisces full moon. So kind of bringing in some balance, but unexpected energy for sure. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys, the time that Uranus sextiled Mercury, our planet of communication, that was the day before that Oval Office visit with the President of the U.S. and the President of Ukraine. And I don't know what your attitude is, how it went, but it was certainly Uranus sextiling Mercury. You know, we got a lot said, that's for sure. Or a lot of information came out one way or the other. Okay, what else have we got here? So, oh, and I should always say, Uranus has always felt a little uncomfortable in Taurus, because Uranus is move, 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 go, go, go. Taurus is, let's think about it a little bit before we do things. So there's been a little bit of you know, it hasn't been the easiest relationship here. But like I've said before, boy, all these children that were born while Uranus was in Taurus, and that was about 7 years. That's Uranus is one of the generational planets. All these children, I think, are going to be the ones that help us learn how to feed ourselves in this new world. Because Uranus is new and invention, technology. Taurus is agriculture. So I'm really curious to see what these children, how they grow up. And that's, I should also mention, Neptune is also a generational planet because it spends 14 years in a sign. And of course, Pluto is a generational planet because it spends 20 to 30 years in a sign. So that's what, like I'm a Pluto and Leo generation, right? Because that's the boomer generation. And very, very at the end, though. So we do call, especially Pluto, because it spends so much time, because everybody who's born during these times are all have that same outer planet in the same sign, I should say. Okay, all right. So now, and let's see. Let's go ahead and okay, I'm going to put you on pause for a second. Okay, sorry about that, but there's a lot going on this one, and I don't want to forget good old North Node here, who is at 27 degrees Pisces. Now, but the North Node, the nodes all move in the opposite direction of the planet, so it's going to be going this direction. So it's at 27 degrees Pisces, but it has just recently gone over that 0 degrees Aries point. Okay, so that's kind of the general lay of the land. But we've also got good old Neptune here. And Neptune is literally, I mean, it's at like 29 degrees, 57 minutes or something like that of Pisces. Because it is, I mean, it literally goes into Aries the next day after that new moon. And then we do have the sun here, you know, coming in. And, oh, well, let me do Mercury and Venus first, though. Because we do have Mercury and Venus. Now, they're both, like I was showing in that one before, they're literally going in and out, back and forth across this 0 degrees Aries point. So I'm just going to put both of those planets, too, right on that axis. And then we've got the sun here that's coming in, too. So you can see how these planets, and you know, on the equinox it hit 0 degrees Aries. That was on March 20th, and then on the 29th it's going to be down at 9 degrees, and I'm going to go ahead and stick it right there in Aries. And oh, and I wanted to show you that retrograde motion with Neptune and Mercury and Venus. Oops. Uh-oh. There. Easy. Okay. Oops. Got to straighten it. Can't have a crooked axis. Okay, so remember that Venus and Mercury are going, you know, they've come down here, now they're going back, and and Neptune is going direct. So these planets are literally over this 0 degree. They're going to hit and then keep moving. So I just wanted to show you that a little bit more visibly for you so you can see that. Okay. So I've got this list, and I used this last time, and I'm going to use it again. You're welcome to take a screenshot, of course, of that. But this really shows that whole movement of the planets here. So you can see that this is, you know, here's our equinox when the sun went into Aries at 0 degrees, but on the 19th, the sun, you know, as it was going this direction, it went over Neptune. And then you can see down here, look at the sun conjuncts Venus. The sun sextile, remember I told you about that sextile to Pluto, and then also conjuncts Mercury. The 22nd, 23rd, 24th. So the sun is super busy in there. But I also wanted to point out, so the Venus, this is retrograde Venus, sextiling Pluto on the 21st, and then Mercury sextiling Pluto on the 25th. So let me tell you guys, this time especially, well, anytime, well, you can see how these are just one after the other, but definitely after this equinox here, all the way through this 30th, what a time to manifest. But especially this sextile to Venus, sextile to Mercury, and in between is a sextile from the sun all to Pluto, which is like our biggest, one of our strongest signs in the, our planets in the just one of our strongest planets, and really gives us that foundation to create, and to create thoughtfully too. Okay, so this is real important here. And then check out this one too. Now, as Venus will, as she's going retrograde, she's actually going to go she's going to go into Pisces first and then conjunct Neptune, just like Mercury's going to do on the actual day of the new moon, just a few hours before. Actually, retrograde Mercury is going to go into Pisces and conjunct Neptune, and then Neptune will come out and down here and go across that 0 degrees, and off it goes. Doesn't go very fast, I can guarantee you that, but you can see why, if there is going to be a galactic shift or energy coming down or something like that, this would be the perfect time for it, for sure. Okay, so let's see what else. Oh, and I also wanted to mention again, this whole idea of, with the Pluto, we will really be thinking deeply about things. Venus and Neptune, we've got that unconditional love. There could also be some financial major shifts too, that we may feel a little backwards and forwards. Again, I would not recommend any spending big money anyway until after these two guys get going direct, for sure. Now, Venus is sextiling Pluto. This will really help us feel like, what is important to us? What do we value? That's what Venus is all about, valuing not only our love relationships, but our finances and all that kind of stuff. And I did also want to point out, look at this. We've got all these sextiles going on, because when these planets, with all these sextiles, and we've got even, Uranus and the Sun and Mars, are sextiling. The Sun and the Moon are triggering all of this. That's part of that Star of David, the 6-pointed star, that we could form in this wheel if we wanted to. So anyway, as we're coming out of Pisces, we may literally feel like we're tripping and falling over things. I'm going to have to pause again for a second. Okay, so I just wanted to also mention that as these planets move out of Pisces, that 29th degree can be very disorienting, especially the 29th of the whole zodiac here. So we may not be able, to recognize like familiar places that as we're driving or something like that. We may not be able to see things that look familiar to us, and we may feel disappointed as all these things dissolve. Okay, so what I'd suggest for you for this new moon is to start looking for these clues. Like I said, Neptune is very subtle, but Neptune, I always think, when I think of Neptune, I think of Hollywood, glamour, fashion. So look at our commercials. What colors are we moving away from more ocean, soft pastels to more harsher Aries, go for it type sports, that kind of thing type energy? Is that going to be becoming more prevalent? And also look at clues in yourself. Where do you feel the mist starting to lift as this Pisces, as this Neptune goes into Aries? Some have said that we'll get more clarity, we'll get out of all this disinformation and that kind of thing, and I certainly hope so. But like I said last week, claim your desires. Look around you. What have you already manifested? Good, bad, or ugly. You are that master manifester. And, I just wanted to show you, this is the manifester of the tarot keys. And this is you. Here you stand, as above, so below. You've got all your tools here. You've got the red roses of desire. You have the white lilies of intellectual understanding. You have the infinity sign of connection to spirit, as above, so below. Eternity, the eternal snake around your waist. And then the white headband shows you are conscious. So really think about trying to be conscious about what you're manifesting, instead of just manifesting by default. Whatever is you'll just take it, right? I did that for decades probably. So anyway, be a conscious manifester. All right. I want to talk a little quickly here just about Neptune going into Aries, because this is, it's going to be in Aries for the next 14 years. And I wanted to show you this. And I know I'm getting super long here, but I'll try to go fast. There's a lot going on. Here we've got, this is that Neptune cycle. So here's our March 30th. Neptune goes into Aries. July 4th, Neptune's going to turn retrograde at 2 degrees 11 minutes Aries. So look at this. April, May, June, 3 months, it goes 2 degrees. That shows you how slow these guys are. September 6th, retrograde Neptune goes back into Pisces on that 0 degree point again, just like Mercury and Venus did. December 10th, Neptune will go direct at 29 degrees Pisces. Again, oh my goodness, September, October, November, 3 months, and it only went 75 minutes. And then on January 27th, Neptune will go into, in 2026, Neptune will go into Aries for good, or for the next 14 years. And I'm sorry about that. I'm going to put you on pause again. Okay, I think all my bells have quit ringing for a little bit here. So anyway, so just remember this Neptune, this coming out of this 29th degree of Pisces, we will feel this kind of like we're lost in a void and a fog, that kind of thing, with this generational planet moving forward here. But hopefully it will bring us more clarity. And I'm also really curious to see what Neptune and Aries is going to do for masculinity, because this is a very masculine sign. The other thing that Neptune and Aries will bring is perhaps maybe dissolving injustices, more for society. And I've really kind of tried to ponder this, because Aries is our war sign, right? And with the Civil War thing, possibly, and stuff like that. But I'm hoping, hopefully our whole society has elevated over the last 165 years. But I'm wondering if Neptune and Aries is going to create more of a willingness to stand up for those disadvantaged people, as well as animals and plants. I'm hoping there's going to be this willingness, not necessarily to go to war for, property and money and stuff like that, but maybe to fight to protect people. Okay, so keep that in mind too. And another thing that with Neptune going over Aries, and this is something I'm going to do myself, I'm just going to make a list of everything I think is impossible for me that I want. What would be impossible? And just write those down and see what happens. Because Neptune is the planet of impossibilities, right? And during this time, just remember, Venus and Mercury are both sextiling Pluto, the sun, that there's all that energy around that too. So just, be quiet, write, journal, and just become focused. Because remember, whatever you focus on is what you're going to manifest. So do be conscious about what you're thinking about. And I know it's hard, but if you start feeling angst, like I've started doing this, like if I start watching a TV show and I start feeling kind of this angsty type feeling, I change channels. Because, with Neptune changing signs like this, it's like our guidance systems on our car. It's like, time to recalibrate route to destination. We've got a whole new group of energy here. So anyway, I hope this has made sense, and I hope that you really spend a lot of time focusing on this energy, especially over that 27th to the 30th. Very intense energy, but maybe very subtle. So don't expect to get hit over the head, but if you could, we'll see. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. And just remember, funny things are everywhere, and I'm sorry I went so long. Talk to you later. Bye.